Guess what? For the 22-week series, guess what? We did the Fool and we did the Magician. So the next one was going to be for the High Priestess. All of a sudden I heard, well, you done the Devil card with Angela that you are going to schedule it ahead of time. I'm like, yeah, but I'm jumping. And they're like, you don't need to go linear. The message is good for now. So I guess we're still going to make it 22 weeks, but it may not be in order of the Fool to the World, but it had the Fool to the World. And what I'm getting from that is that kind of like a timeline thing, how everything's working at the same time. It's working just as is. And the message in the shadows, we'll call in that segment, is about leaving it all for the leaders when it really should be us and the leaders. So that's probably why it's starting right now. Hi, this is Sylvia. Hi, this is Sylvia of Colorful Foresight, where we too reconnect from within. And here we have Dance with Angela. So today, enlightenment, political enlightenment, we're going to cover on the Devil card. And it sounds very intense. So what I think we could do is just use our intuition for this particular thing and the pendulum. So it's a swinging pendulum. What I got right off is, because I was acting, is about the not so great quality of politics. They told me no, just the shadows. So anything comes to mind. Yeah. So the goal of the political enlightenment is to see it in our life now, that goes into 2024, from now 2023 to 2024 and beyond, because sometimes we feel like enlightenment like a far reach thing, but it's already happening. Even like the different choices of leaders that we have here and around the world, maybe they're not seen as enlightening, but they might be part of that, what is needed now, like the bridge in order to go to the next step. So anything come to mind with that, especially with the Devil card in mind?
As you were speaking, I thought about Jacinda Ardern, the ex-New Zealand Prime Minister, and just how you were saying the Devil card and facing shadows. A lot of people don't like her.
Oh, really?
She became very unpopular because of the COVID restrictions. New Zealand was very strict during their lockdown, and to me it was too strict. It was necessary to a point, and then it became a bit too extreme, and things didn't make sense as well. So that really was conflicting for her, and she had worked through a lot of negative things in the leadership, but then eventually she just left. But I thought she's a really good bridge, how you were describing, a bridging type of leader to face the shadow. So let's ask about the Devil card and the shadows, because that really triggered me when you said the shadows. What was it about the shadow, facing the shadow, or just...
Well, it's interesting that you share that, because I didn't know all that. I just remembered the time when she was doing a good job and they didn't have any issue in New Zealand because she would that. But just like, I guess there's no perfection, right? Enlightenment is about seeing, and I guess not getting caught up. But what do you feel like enlightenment about in regard to political aspect?
When you're facing the challenges, and she also did a volcanic eruption happened in the island. That was another disaster, which is things out of control. So the Devil card, it's also the Tower, but it's things moving that you don't have any. It's a under the earth type of phenomena, which the Devil's connected to Hades. It's things that come up that were suppressed, or the earth movement is also things that perhaps our unconscious in the collective. The Devil card represents all of that stuff, the shadow aspect of it. that we can no longer control. And so she had to face one of those natural disasters and the rescue. So it's facing challenges in enlightenment and being able to move through it, not run away, and also recognizing. So, like you said, enlightenment, seeing the dark, not just avoiding it. But with the devil card, it's actually also scandals, negative thoughts of the collective coming up and creating murders, wars, and natural disasters and all the negative things that happen, and not being terrified by it. So Jacinda Ardern ended up resigning. I don't know if you knew. She just said, I'm going to resign. And she said, I don't have it within me to face the next challenge. So she did a natural disaster. She did a terrorist attack. She did a pandemic. And she did COVID restrictions and lockdowns and depriving people of their freedoms. And she became increasingly unpopular. So a lot of the negative energy of the population was projected on her. And then she just went, no, I can't face the next challenge. So she resigned. So I think also it's been enlightenment leaders. That's why I mean she's like a good bridge, because a leader who was working if they were enlightened, would have been able to just stay there with all that negative energy and the shadow attacking her. But she was just like, no, this is not for me, which also could have been an enlightenment leader, because they're just saying, I need to step down and let the next person take that role.
You know, came to mind as you're speaking, Martin Luther King. I mean, he really was dealing with ugliness, and and there hadn't really been like any like big Black political leaders since, because people are afraid to be leaders. Look what we've seen the leaders, especially after the 60s in the U.S., the amount of them got shot and killed. And I know you see it around the world. You got the bad leaders that eventually get shot and killed. You got the good leaders that either they do well or, you know, they can't handle it. Because that leader that you mentioned, done a lot. So, but it get to the point. And maybe she's a bridge, or she did a lightning thing and allowing for the next thing. So what come to mind is that why we leave it just for the leaders? We, the people, need to be online with the leaders, help them. It's like, I feel like right now we've been looking too much to just have them to figure out. We have to take responsibility. We, the people. I know they use that in the U.S., but you could use that for all over. Like, it's we, the people, plus the leaders together. I don't know why that's coming to mind, especially in the context of the devil. Like, it's like when the devil card, you have like the female, the male, and this chained to the devil. So it's like you could maybe think of it as the leader chained to the devil, and we, the people, chained to the devil. Now, one of them get released. It's still, you got one part that's still chained to the devil. You need both of them released.
Exactly.
What that look like, I don't know. Let's do some pendulum. Let's ask some questions. Angela and I just going with our intuition, and we're just kind of organically doing this.
And I wanted to add that
I didn't come up with that. That's the divine coming through us, you know.
Right.
So,
because if we project our hate, that creates more shadow. If we project our hate at the leader, we're chained to the devil still. That's us chained to the devil. If we're projecting our frustration and hate, maybe you don't agree with the lockdown, but if you're projecting hate towards the leader, you're trapped to the devil. You're not moving towards we the people and the power of the collective or the power of the species. So being responsible for your hatred or for your frustrations and seeing them as either contributing to the shadow or as motivating you to move forward, take action.
That's great. I love what spirit's coming through us and sharing on this subject. Okay, so for me, I don't know if we have a show. I'd rather if you show it. Can you show yours? So my yes, it's this way. Everybody's different. Everybody who relationship with their pendulum. And my no is circled on the right. And then if it's circled on the left, it's clearing the energy. And then if it's side, it's neutral. What's yours? How yours?
Mine in general is just my yes is forward and back
Okay.
from my body, forward and
Okay.
back. And my no is and clockwise.
Okay. So let's start, but I'll start. Spirit, are we on the right track? Wait, hold on. I put my arm and I lean this hand here. It's tight, still as possible. Here we go. Spirit, are we on track in regard okay, yes. What do you got?
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's like just making up questions that coming out of the air because we're really intuitively just winging it here.
What's your question about the leadership?
Well, the point of the 22 weeks political enlightenment series is to bring political enlightenment now versus later on, later on to someday. And so far, what I've seen with some of the videos I've done earlier, they're already signs that they're enlightenment. It's just not the way we think, including the leader in front of us. Like, staying with this subject here, you were talking about your leader. She did things that were kind of enlightening. Like, so why is it? It's already happening. It's just we might have ideas, so we need to support those good behaviors, because truth is we're not always going to succeed. I could think of some governors in the U.S. that are doing very well now, but sometimes they don't. But people only focus on the not so great, and that's where, going back to the we people and leaders, are we supporting each other, or are we that's what comes to play to mind. Yeah, what you're getting, you got like the moving thing.
Well, as you're talking, I'm just feeling
a
constant yes. So it's just confirmation.
So let's ask Spirit to clear the air. So now going on other side, clearing the air for the video on this subject. Okay, it's already done. Now it's clear. I would like to ask, are we going to see, I'm going to stop this. Are we going to see more enlightening type of action done by leaders that we have currently now? Yes. Are these leaders sometimes seen as the lightning? No. They may not be. It's neutral. So, Angela, if you have anything that comes to mind. When I think of neutral, I think of just like how you and I are a channel for our spirit guide. These leaders are sometimes doing things that are bigger than them.
I'm getting it's our perception. So there is, sometimes we see it, but sometimes we don't. So it's all about us. That's where we, the people, is too. If we start becoming conscious of how we perceive the leaders, that starts us being enlightened as a collective.
So it had to do, again, instead of waiting for a enlightened leader, we have to change our thinking as we the people. So maybe that's why the political enlightenment, seeing the different videos, getting different ideas, what that means. And sometimes it's like, I got some with most of the current leaders are bridgers into the enlightenment. They're put here. That's why they do well, and sometimes they don't. But how are we the people? Are we responsible? Wow. Yeah. Interesting. I never thought of it that way, as far as like the chain is one side, the leader, and the other side, we the people.
Yeah, I love that.
and how they have to work together in order to go forward. Does anything come to your mind now?
No, I think that's it. That I was thinking about that image of the chains and how we're connected. Whether
So
we
let's
like
end.
it or not, we think it's the leaders that are doing all this corruption and dirty stuff, but we are connected.
You know what's funny? As you said that, it went to clearing that energy.
Okay.
Okay, are we done yet with the video? We are. Doesn't have to be too long. Isn't that nice? Great. Thank you.
Great. Thanks,
Um,
Sylvia.
yeah. Awesome. That's cool. I like that. Quick and easy. Thank you. That was really interesting, huh?
When you said that, I was like, oh, that impacted me. It was great. I loved that.
Even what you said, but I don't remember because half of it's spirit. I didn't even know about the New Zealand lady because I thought she was doing great. The last thing I heard, she was like awesome. I have not heard after the pandemic about her. That's why it's good to have somebody from outside the US. Yeah, it's just
and
nice.
she was crying, and the news media here had her like, and I just thought they also don't really like women down under in the Antipodes. It's like women in Europe, you can be a strong European prime minister or leader and they respect you. Down here, it was really disappointing the way the media presented her.
But you know what? Even though that's true, she did a lot great, and that still shifted that energy about a woman leader, like in that capacity. That was actually she was very, like people were looking up to her here.
I know.
Like, we're looking up to her here. Can we haven't had a woman leader yet, so I'm just saying, England, they already had their female president.
Oh, there's at least 10 women in Europe.
Right?
You've got Nicola Sturgis, you've got Theresa May. I mean, you had Thatcher, that's the past, but you've got current 10 leaders. I don't know their names. And you had Angela Merkel forever. And there's a woman in gay leader of, I think it's Bulgaria.
Wow, gay one.
Romania or something. One of the Eastern Bloc countries has a gay female leader. She's very successful. We're really behind. It's just
it would be funny if we just got like an Asian gay female as the president.
Yeah, we have one of those here. We have one of those here in Australia, but she's not really on television enough. And she's made fun of in a way I don't appreciate. Penny Wong. I don't know if she's gay, but she's Asian. And she's just not really respected as well, which I find annoying. I want to change that vibration in Australia, that women are given more respect, because it's just not on. It's not right here.
But you know what? Somebody said we're going to have to be the right female. And that's true. Just because somebody's a female doesn't mean we should take them on. They should be the right one. But I always say, but we haven't had one. How many male leaders have we had that not so great? So can we start with that? I'm curious. Should we put that part of the devil thing?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to put it in. I just wanted your permission, though.
Yeah. And also just some of the Australian leaders that we have at state government and in federal positions, they're amazing. With Tanya Pilbasek, she's incredible. She's our local representative here in Sydney. Just amazing leaders. We have amazing female leaders in Australia. It's just that sometimes the media presents them, and that's the devil card too. The way the media presents women is that dark element of the world that doesn't appreciate the gifts that we have as a species and wants to make it seditious or to make it dark. And actually it's not. But the media is the way we perceive our reality. And the media, when it's negative, is a reflection of our shadow side. So we need to see the way we see our leaders. And I want to project that into the media, a different way of seeing our leaders and our female leaders to see the
We
light.
did. We did with this video. We just created that intention. There we go. So thank you for that. That's cool.